Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And I just wanted to before I get into anything going forward, it's been kind of everybody's had their opinions about this team, not just this offseason, but last season, year before. And I think it all started when Dez Bryant got released. And we were talking about the simple fact that who's in control right now, who's making decisions, and what they tell us as far as the media and everybody outside of the organization. Again, there's things that we'll never know, but just for speculation purposes, they will always say, hey, it's a group effort, we make decisions as a group, we come to a head, and Jerry Jones writes off on it. Now we know the Cowboys from the past that Jerry Jones used to be all in the involvement of the Cowboys. Game day, he was always there on the sidelines, all in everything, dealing with the players, just right there with the coaches, just live on television. The Dallas Cowboys, so it's always going to be the cameras on the boys, no matter what the situation is. Somebody's going to be there watching. So I just look at things like, okay, there's definitely been a change since, I want to say, if you want to go all the way back to 2010, from then when Dez Bryant first got on this team, when he was a rookie, until today. Again, we would always, it was a running gag that, oh, it's Jerry's doing this, Jerry's doing that. Well, you look at what's going on right now. Jerry's been kind of quiet lately. This past season as a whole, you haven't really heard much from him. Like, he'll talk to, I guess, what is it, 105 The Fan or whatever, the Dallas radio station. Like, he'll talk to Ben and Skin or whatever. He'll talk to those guys, and he'll say little tidbits, and we'll try to formulate an idea based off of that. But I think that as Jerry's getting older, he's kind of backed off a little bit. Now, he's still the owner. He still writes the checks. He still makes the final, whatever. But they have a system now where it's majority rules kind of thing, and that's where Dez Bryant fell in, because there were definitely at least 2 or 3 people on this staff, and we don't know exactly who they were, but those are the ones that wanted Dez to stay. Now, I'm not doing this video to talk about Dez. I'm doing it to talk about how this team has changed in just the last decade. And not even the last decade, I want to say the last 2 years, because I've noticed a lot of different things, and a lot of fans have been speculating different things. But the truth is, we'll never know exactly what's going on behind closed doors, because, again, we don't work for the team. Even some of the media guys don't know. Brian Broaddus and David Hellman and Nick Eatman, all of them, they don't know everything either. Now, they know way more than we do because they work for them every day. They're there. They're seeing the players. They're talking to them. They're seeing personalities and things of that nature, which I would love to work for Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I being on that media staff, actually meeting a lot of those guys when they were here, and actually when I went there too, they're a good group. The media team sticks together. I've never seen a job full of people where they'll come to work and then go out to eat together and then do things outside of work together. That's awesome. Like, because most people, I know you guys have your jobs, nobody's hanging out with nobody. After work, it's like, all right, Bob, all right, Kim, we're gone, I'll see you tomorrow, but you're not hanging out with your coworkers like that. But they have it's a tight-knit family going on over there, and I respect that. But for me, just looking at it from the outside, I noticed that change, and I think that Stephen Jones is now in control and taking the head on a lot of things. You look at the Dez Bryant thing, huge. Like, the way that he got cut, I mean, it was just, Stephen is like, to me, is like the Grim Reaper. He's cutthroat. He doesn't have the compassion like Jerry Jones has. Jerry Jones has been criticized and praised in the past for wanting to keep players that he loves and things of that nature. Like, he let his emotions get into it. And Stephen Jones ain't got no emotion. It's you ain't doing right, your ass is out of here. I mean, Jerry Jones is about giving chances to players that he really respects and likes. Stephen ain't up with that. I guess he got fed up with Dez Bryant. You look at that video, and I think Mark did a video on that around the time when Dez left, where they did an interview with Stephen Jones, and They were asking him a bunch of questions, and he was smiling the whole time. Then as soon as they asked him about Dez Bryant, his face got tight, and it was like his whole demeanor changed. And at that moment, when I saw that clip of Stephen Jones, when I saw that interview, that was at the point where I knew that things about to change. Something's gonna happen. And lo and behold, Dez was cut mercifully. Now, we know that the team is not big on social media as far as their players and stuff like that. But me personally, as long as your players are not saying anything negative about the team or spilling any beans or secrets in their social media pages, they should be allowed to do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's their time. They're grown men. You know, football is their job. You know what I mean? But outside of that, you know, they have other lives too, and I respect that. But, you know, when it comes to football stuff, and it being your job, that is where your focus needs to be at during the season. So, you know, they didn't like the fact that, you know, they almost brought Dez back. You know, he went on social media saying, hey, you know, I might be on a team or something or another. And, you know, he tipped that off, and the Cowboys didn't like that. And it was like, rescind, never mind. So, again, I think that Stephen Jones is the head of a lot of that. And Jerry's just in the background right now. Like I said, he's still involved, but he's not as much as he used to. He's actually being an owner. He's not on Front Street. Now, you look at this offseason, with the stuff with David Irving and his article, and I think Mark Holmes did a video on that one too. He's always beating me to the punch. But anyway, I just want to speak on it. But when David Irving was talking about, you know, when he put that message on social media, like, I didn't know that I was a free agent. I didn't know that I wasn't on the Cowboys anymore. I'm like, you know your contract's up. How do you know that you're not a free agent? And he said that, hey, I didn't have any off-field issues. But, sir, you failed drug tests. You had issues with your baby mother, which, you know, that's personal stuff. But, you know, you had your injury, but you didn't come back. So, again, we don't know why he didn't come back. But he stated on there that there's a certain personnel individual on this team, staffer, that was keeping him away. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Why would somebody on this team not want you to be here, and you're a player, and you're an impactful player, and you can help us win games? I feel like if that's true, then whoever that person is that's on the staff needs to be fired, because why would you tell a player to stay away from the facility when he's eligible to play for your team? Now, I don't know what's going to come up for him as far as missing his drug tests and stuff like that. I don't think that they were failed. They were missed. So when you miss them, it's almost like a failure. So it's a violation to the league's rules as well. So it could be a suspension coming up for that. But again, right now he's a free agent. I don't think the Cowboys are even trying to sign him back. There really hasn't been any talk about much with that. But one thing that you don't want to do is cause problems with your team. One thing we have right now is good team chemistry. Dak is the leader of the team. His offense and defense, everybody's coming together and everybody's respecting each other. What you don't want is players getting upset and causing problems, which is the reason why I don't want Antonio Brown on this team. I don't know why there's people out here that keep saying, oh, Antonio Brown can come to Cowboys. Do you see what he did to the Patriots? I mean, to the Steelers. Single-handedly tearing apart the Steelers. Both him and Le'Veon Bell. And both of them won't be on that team next year. And, you know, it's just certain things that are supposed to stay in-house. You have issues with your quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger, that stuff stays in-house. That stuff is out on Front Street. I feel like he's just being a diva. If you want a diva on this team, you should have kept Dez Bryant. That's my opinion. So, no, hell no, I don't want AB. I know a lot of you guys want him because he's a great wide receiver, but no. The Cowboys' identity right now is run first, and I love Amari Cooper. I like the guy. He's quiet. He minds his business, and he speaks when spoken to. Now, I don't have a problem with you being boisterous because I speak too, but it's a way of going about it. Like, it's a thin line between being a diva and being a person that shows leadership ability that's sounding off. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's a thin line between that, and you know he crossed that so far. But no, I don't want no part of that. I don't want no part of that. Now, again, you got the dismissal of Dez Bryant. Orlando Scandrick, for whatever reason, he got fed up. He didn't want to be here no more. And he was like, all right, well, you're Oscar the Grouch anyway. Bye, Orlando. So they released Orlando. He goes to the Chiefs. Then you have this situation now with DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, we don't know if there's any animosity. We don't know if it's any negativity at all, which I don't think so. But, you know, he made it clear himself that he's not signing that franchise tag for the second time. So I look at it like this. Okay, well, I don't think the team wants to keep him on a franchise tag. I think that they wanted him to sign it for the sole purpose of we haven't figured out how the contract is that we're going to give you. So free agency is coming up very soon here in the beginning part of March. And we just want to make sure that we keep you because we don't want you to go on a free agency. Now, I doubt that they're going to let him go to free agency because Jerry Jones said that he deserves his money and they have all the capacity to keep him. So that's what they want to do. So, but you got to lock him down because you don't want him to feel like, okay, you're going to franchise tag me again. Now I'm starting to feel a little disrespected because you're not giving me a contract and I've done all this for your team. I'm the leader of the Hot Boys. I've done this, I've done that. And, you know, I know that in his mind, I know it's like, you know, I know I had injury history. I know I was suspended once before, but that's behind me. I gave you 2 good years of great service and I deserve to get paid. And, you know, because if you don't pay him, somebody else will. And what you don't want to do right now is break up that monotony right now that we have on that defense because he's the headliner of that. But your other guys still have to do their job as well. You can't just have one steak dinner and then everybody else is just not even an entree. They're just McDonald's chicken nuggets. So you definitely want your guys to step up to the plate and do what they need to do. I'm a firm believer of, you know, hard work deserves, you know, some type of reward. Now, he's going to get his money, but I just don't want it to become a problem where there's animosity between him and the team. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to do this. You know, you guys aren't respecting me. I'm not feeling this, blah, blah, blah. Because we had Orlando Scandrick do that. Now, I think he was going to do that regardless, but you look at the players and then you look at how that impacts lesser players. Because they're like, okay, well, if they're not paying him right off the bat, I know they're not going to keep me when my contract's up. So I'm about to start looking around different teams to see who I could go to that maybe I'll feel more respect. And I think that's where Cole Beasley is at right now. Cole Beasley, like before this, like he's always been a person that was on social media, but he's never been like how he is this season where he's speaking about himself and how I need this and I need that. Now, granted, you know, Cole Beasley said he wants more targets, but you look at him, he's had a lot of targets. He just either wasn't catching the ball or Dak wasn't getting the ball right. I mean, it was different things that played in that. But again, he should know that he's not a number 1 receiver. He's just a slot guy. When you with the emergence of Amari Cooper coming to this team, you're not a number 1. You're not going to get as many balls as him. That's just not going to happen. And the Cowboys aren't going to pay him no $10 million. So he either accepts what the Cowboys gives him or he'll go to another team. And I know that maybe Green Bay or the Patriots or somebody else might pick him up and he might do great there. And I know some Cowboy fans are going to be like, damn, like, because we always do this. When a player goes to another team and they do better than what they did here, we always say, well, damn, why couldn't we do anything with that? Because we know our staff is notorious for not doing what they're supposed to do with players. But I hope that now that Scott Linehan is gone, that this is going to be, and I mentioned this in the last video briefly, that it's going to be a whole different team next year. Dak's going to be more involved. Kellen Moore is going to do some trickery. He's going to do some things to jumpstart this offense, and we know for damn sure that that's going to be the case. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But just in the case of how this team has changed in the last 5 years, Stephen Jones is now in control, you guys. And going forward, if there's players this sliding out of the camera, he's going to go ahead and push them on out the camera. They're not going to be the focal point. They're going to be in the background. So that's just the way this team is going right now. And but again, I just wish that I could be a fly on the wall in those meetings because I want to see exactly what conversations are going in the background because we hear players say this, we hear staffers say this, we hear media say this, and we don't know what to believe. Now, me personally, I don't judge any situation until I know the full facts. I'm not getting into that Jussie Smollett stuff, but I will say, I'm not even, you know, everybody's saying, oh, you know, he's terrible because it's a hoax and this and that. Now, it could be very well, but I'm not going to judge it until I know exactly. Once the police come back and they say what happened, I'm not going to judge the situation until I see exactly what happens. That's just the way I am with every situation. That's why sometimes, like, I'll hesitate to do a video because I want to get a little bit more of the details before I can speak on it, because I want to make sure that it makes sense to me first. But that's just the way I roll. I keep it real, y'all. That's just what it is. So let me know what y'all think about that. But that's all I have for now. I'm gonna be doing a live stream later on this evening. Talk about free agency, more of who we're gonna sign or keep, and more so on who you guys think that we could get outside. I know you guys want Earl Thomas. That's the biggest thing right now. But you know, who's on your wish list? We could talk about stuff that's fantasy, like that we know that won't ever happen. But you know, we can dream, right? So with that being said, y'all, until then, this is your boy YouTube Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all later.